What up, though, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Table for Two with Mike and Cherie, the podcast where couples keep it real.
We're talking about love, loyalty, and those petty little arguments that start over nothing.
We're not experts.
Just two people trying not to kill each other while staying in love.
We appreciate y'all tuning in. If you like our content, please hit the like bell and subscribe to get notifications when we drop new episodes.
All right. Now that we got that out of the way, pull up a chair and let's get into it.
So what's the topic that we're talking about tonight, baby?
Okay. So you're in a committed relationship and your spouse introduces you to their friend from the block. The problem is that friend is of the opposite sex. So on this episode, we discuss, should your spouse have friends of the opposite sex? Let's talk about it. So, opposite sex friendships can feel threatening. There can be emotional closeness that, we don't want our partner sharing with other people. Old flames, blurred boundaries, things like that. There's friends and there's flirty friends. And y'all know the difference.
For sure. I feel like flirty friends. Is it flirty friends?
Flirty
Flirty
friends.
friends is a no-go.
Say it fast 3 times.
Flirty friends. Flirty friends. Flirty friends is a no-go, right? Mm-hmm. It's got to be strictly platonic. And also for me, I feel like this is going to seem like a double standard, but our situation was a little bit different. But I feel like no new friends. I feel like friends that you've had for 15, 20 years or, but sometimes it could be, coworkers that you go to lunch with or whatever.
Yeah.
In a group setting, though, not a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right? So I know, boundaries can get blurred. So you have to be cognizant of that.
Right.
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 So,
Actually. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Absolutely.
how I feel.
So let's talk about insecurity versus intuition. How do we tell the difference? And is some of that actually intuition, or is it more so us having feelings of jealousy or insecurity?
That's a good question when it comes to this topic and all topics when it comes to intuition, because women swear that their intuition is the truth.
I actually do feel like we have intuition. I do feel like we have intuition. Sometimes we are very intuitive. We
But
pay attention.
Isn't intuition just like a feeling, though?
I don't even know the actual definition of intuition. I feel like it's the ability to feel or maybe sometimes know when something is a little off.
Like y'all like an oracle or something? Like
I don't know about oracle, but definitely understanding when things feel a little weird.
But it's just a feeling, though.
Well, I think the feeling goes along with actions as well, too, right? Like when you're not behaving in the ways that you normally do, maybe a little extra cranky or snippy. There are different signs when you feel like something's off. Just like you can probably tell when things are off with me. It's just a feeling. You say, are you having a good day today?
Is that intuition? Or like if I come home from work and you're just kind of like not your normal self.
But it happens more than one day.
Yeah.
Maybe it happens for
Like,
2 weeks straight.
Something like that.
Your intuition is going to say, there is something else going on here.
But
That's what I call intuition.
And that could be.
Right.
But you and I have had times where it's been that I come in the house a couple days straight and you're not like necessarily feeling it. And I think it's about me, and you tell me, later on or whatever, that it wasn't necessarily about me.
Right.
So my intuition was telling me that I did something wrong and you were upset with me. But, 9 times out of 10, she is upset with me. But in that off chance, like, you may not even be upset with me. Something else may be bothering you that you're working through. So my intuition could be wrong.
Well, that's true. I think it is a series of different events that I'm talking about when I say
Yeah.
intuition. There's lots of different context clues that go with the other behaviors.
But they still could be
I don't
wrong,
think
though.
yeah, it could be.
Right?
It could be. It could be somebody just having a bad day, or two, or a week's worth,
Yeah.
or maybe 2 weeks.
And on the insecurity side of things, like how does that? I mean, well, that's pretty obvious how insecurity works. So
Yeah, I think it, especially if you have the, it's, I guess if it comes a little bit easier for you than other people, I don't even know if that makes sense, but if you're more prone to be insecure, then I think things will bother you a little bit more than what they normally do if you have more so a secure foundation, I guess. I don't even know how to describe it,
yeah,
but
I don't understand
yeah.
insecurity because I don't feel like I've ever been that insecure person. And that's not knocking anybody that's got some insecurities. I just never felt like, I guess maybe you've never given me a reason to feel insecure, or in my past relationships, no one's ever given me a reason to feel insecure. So I know what it is, but I've never like felt it.
A lot of it comes from not just your past relationships either, though. It might come from childhood. There could be a lot of things
that's
that
true.
abandonment issues, jealousy, whatever the case is. It doesn't have to come from your past relationships, but insecurity is definitely a factor in feeling different feelings about what the actions or inactions of your partner means.
So, in your mind, because you're the professional here, not really but I call it a professional. So, what's the main difference between insecurity and intuition, would you say?
I mean, they're both. Insecurity is more so, I guess, a feeling. And I guess intuition is also a feeling. So I don't know if there's really a difference. I don't know. I don't know what the textbook.
I'm asking you for your opinion, not like a textbook.
I know, but I'm just trying to say intuition is more, they're both feelings. I don't know. So I don't know if there is really necessarily a difference. Insecurity is more so of a feeling of not feeling safe, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know what an insecure. I mean, insecurity is a feeling of feeling less than. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody has feelings of insecurity. I think it's normal, but I just don't know exactly what, when somebody feels threatened, I guess, that's the feeling of insecurity. Intuition is more so when you are figuring things out. You're putting
puzzle pieces
together and you're trying to make it make sense is what I think intuition is.
That makes sense. I can see that for sure.
And saying, now let me see. My intuition tells me that you told me you were going to the store. You stayed out for 2 hours. That just doesn't seem like it makes sense to me. So my intuition is telling me that you're probably not necessarily that you were doing something, that you weren't telling me the full story. Yeah. And so then if you come back and you say, hey, I went to the store and you're gone for 2 hours, then there's going to be some follow-up questions. So what were you doing what were you buying at the store for 2 hours?
Right.
My intuition is going off because it's like, what? That doesn't make any sense for me.
I just been at the store for 2 hours. I remember one time I went to the gas station, tragic, and I wanted to get some gas in my car. I don't think I was gone long, but 2 people got ran over right there on the main street, and like it was just a whole big old mess at the gas station. Something like that could happen because it happened to me, and your intuition could be wrong. So I think my point is with the intuition thing is to take it with a grain of salt, and that goes for men and women. Like you may have a hunch that something's going on, but it may not be. But also, it may be.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Exactly.
So you never know. But, some of the things that you can, that you worry about with friends of the opposite sex, emotional closeness, old flames, blurred boundaries. But I feel like if you have blurred boundaries, you shouldn't be friends with that person. If you feel like there's still something there and you're suppressing it, that's a no-go if you're in a relationship or if you're married, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that shouldn't even be a thing. So let that be a lesson to you. If you got an old flame, if you think there's a little spark there, that's definitely a no-go, son.
Well, I'm kind of thinking that there's no reason for you to really be talking like on the regular basis to your exes. I truly do feel that.
I don't even
Because there's old spark. You always are probably going to have feelings for that person. If nothing else, you definitely love that person and care about them, and it can spark back up really fast.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's also a limit on that as well.
Do you feel like people project past relationship trauma on the new ones? So, for instance, oh no, you can't have any friends because in my last relationship,
Yeah.
XYZ happened.
Yes.
So I don't deal with people who have friends of the opposite sex.
Yes.
Yeah. And how do you feel about that? Do you feel like this? I mean, that's somebody's truth.
I feel like if it is important to your partner, then it should be important to you. I feel like if it is something that your partner has a problem with, then you have to address that, and you guys have to figure out how you can work through it and work around it so that both partners are comfortable. So I know that's a pretty broad statement, but I can't put my finger on it and say you should do A or you should do B, because I really do feel like there are things in this relationship that maybe I didn't think were as important as you thought they were. And that caused a lot of problems between us before, because you had certain belief systems and I didn't have those same belief systems, and we had to come to a common ground as to how we were going to come together and make each other feel comfortable. So even though I may not mind you having a friend of the opposite sex, because I feel like, it's been respectful or whatever, you might mind me having somebody or a friendship of the opposite sex. But then it has to be fair across the board.
I know, right?
Because we're not going to have it where one person's having some freedoms and the other person's not. So it has to be comfortable for both people.
So that's the crazy part, because, we don't have this issue, I don't think. But you're right. It needs to be even across the board. But
it does. But I feel like that's a double standard.
Double standard.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Yep. But again, so.
Because if you go out with your friend, I'm going to be like, this nigga trying to clap her cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, she clapping her cheeks.
Right. So then if you feel like that, then you also have to take in consideration how I would feel if, I might not feel the same, but if you feel like that you are going to feel that way, and that you feel like even if somebody I'm saying is a friend to me, then it has to be the same across the board, period. No matter how I feel, no matter if I say, hey, I'm okay with it or not. Nope, the rules have to be the same across the board. No.
Yeah.
Nope, that's how I feel about it. So.
No, I was just going to say, like, for me, there's rules to it, right? I don't feel like you can pop up tomorrow and be like, oh, yeah, I got a new friend. His name is James, and we're going to lunch. No, we're not doing that. But if your friend James from high school was in town and y'all wanted to go to lunch and you didn't have a problem introducing me to James, and do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you have a friend of the opposite sex, they should be able to come around and hang out with the group in the circle, and it not be like a personal friend that you keep off to the side and nobody knows about. That's not ever gonna ride, and that goes both ways. Like, I wouldn't expect to have a friend. I wouldn't expect to pop up with a new friend, number one, but then have a friend that you never met before, and then tell you that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z with that person. I don't think that would be okay. Either way.
Okay.
But I've never had a friend. Now, I have had some new friends since we've moved. But you know them all, and you cool with them, and they all have spouses.
That's very true. However, the way in which you went about meeting them, and if the roles would have been reversed, that would have not have been okay. Because the situation was, I was out of state, you were out of state, and yes, you did meet them through like networking and events and stuff like that. But if I would have did that very same thing, you would have not been okay with that. Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. So again, the double standard. Yes, it is.
But you love them.
So that's not okay. Well, that's not the point.
I know. I'm just saying, like,
that's not the point.
I know it's not the point.
The point is that if I came home and said, hey, I want you to meet Eric, you would have been like, "Who is Eric?" And
Now, if you say, I
and you
want
was
you to meet Eric and
talking.
his wife, then I would have been like, oh, okay, what's up? How y'all doing? Let's go out and do something.
But I don't have a problem with it. And if I said, "Hey, I have a problem with this, and I need you to keep better boundaries,"
respect it.
you respected it.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
So that's what it is. So we're going to talk about healthy boundaries in friendships and what they look like in a relationship, as far as having friends of the opposite sex. If this is something that you choose to do, I know a lot of people.
A lot of people are like,
say no go.
ain't no way in hell.
Yep. A lot of
right?
people say no.
And that's cool too.
No
That's what
go.
y'all got in your relationship,
Absolutely.
and that's what y'all do. That's cool.
Like I said, if it's important to you and your relationship, if
Yeah.
this is something where I said, no, I don't want this to happen, or this is not something I like or feel comfortable with, and you said the same thing, then we would have both agreed to it.
Yeah,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep. But I think one of the things is in order to keep down confusion, no secret texting or conversations with that other person that that your spouse doesn't know about.
Right.
You know that I have people that like ex-coworkers and things like that, that of course I keep in touch with. You're friends with them too. We've gone to their weddings, did stuff together. We've done stuff together, and we do have chit chats, like keep in touch. It's like, hey, how you doing?
Right.
And I tell you, hey, I talked to such and such today, and you do the same with me.
Right.
So I think you just have to include your partner in it and make sure that everybody's okay. And if it does get to be a little weird, then I think the other person definitely has to speak up and say that they're
Say
uncomfortable
something about it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I definitely,
for sure.
I definitely believe that if you're gonna have friends of the opposite sex, that you have to be a part of that circle for sure.
Yeah,
you
for
can't
sure.
just be like having
For
a
sure.
separate circle of the opposite sex that your spouse doesn't know about or isn't a part of.
Right.
So let's talk about things that you shouldn't do with your friend of the opposite sex.
Well, I feel like in order to keep it healthy, if you have a friend, you probably shouldn't be venting to your guy friend or girlfriend about your relationship. Basically, if you feel like there's something that you wouldn't want your partner to do to you, you shouldn't do it to the other person. No double standards here, like what we talked about before. So you have to ask yourself, if the roles were reversed, would you feel comfortable with your wife doing it, or would you feel comfortable with your husband doing that? And if you can honestly say that you would be okay with that person doing something similar to maybe what you're doing, then I guess it's okay. But a lot of people can say things are okay until they're actually in that position.
And then it's not okay.
So you have to be honest with yourself and really say, okay, this is, if this were to happen, would I be okay with it? And really be honest with yourself.
So basically, if I wouldn't like it, then you probably wouldn't like it either, so I shouldn't do it.
Right. And also too, if you know your partner would have a problem with it, because you know what your partner likes and doesn't like, the levels of security or whatever the case is that y'all have between y'all. If your partner wouldn't like it, then you shouldn't do it. All right.
All right, let's do this segment.
The truth comes out.
We about to do the truth comes out, y'all.
Let's get it.
All right. So in this segment, we're gonna ask a couple of questions, see who's cap and who's not. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the first question.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Okay. Would you let me go to lunch with an ex if we swear it's platonic?
Yeah, if I could go too.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. If I'm going to.
That was simple enough. I feel the same way.
Yep. Would you be okay if I had a male best friend?
Well, that depends. Is he gay?
Right. I knew that was the next question. And exactly.
No, I'm just playing. But if you had a male best friend from, back in the day, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I don't think I would have a problem with it. As long as you, answer the phone if I call you or something.
I don't know if I could say the same thing, because best friends turn into other things. Sorry. But I understand what you're saying.
For me, when you say best friend, that to me means that this person was around before I was around.
I don't care.
And I would never I don't think I could ask you to get rid of a person that was in your life before me.
I understand, and I understand that. There would just be parameters on what that looked like for me.
Oh, I agree with that. I agree
understand.
with that being parameters.
Yeah, there'd be
around it for
parameters.
sure. You having somebody that was in your life before me,
You say it's like a brother, or you say this is like a sister.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But I think a lot of times when
People be capping and they just be
I think
saying
a lot
that.
of times when I don't know about that, but I know that a lot of times those individuals, sometimes they have this entitlement to you, where sometimes they feel like they can overstep a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it would have to be some parameters around it. And for the most part, I would have to be a huge part of whatever situation was going on. I'd have to be very active in that friendship for sure.
Sitting right
And
there
I'd
in the
have
middle all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not in the middle, but definitely it couldn't be like this thing where that person felt like they had to have you off to themselves. No, that wouldn't happen. So now you're our best friend.
Right.
Yeah, because you remember that time we saw, I can't remember the TV show. It was the reality TV show, and the best friend came in and
Oh,
the
and
way
she wrapped her
jumped that-
legs around. Oh boy. Everybody in the house was like, oh snap.
It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, that don't look like best friend behavior.
Right.
And also, too, I feel like there should be a level of respect for the person that you're with. And I think that's where the boundaries get
Agreed.
a little, I think that's where the rules, I would say rules, I don't even know if I can say boundaries, but that's where
Guidelines.
I feel like the guidelines get kind of crossed, things get kind of blurred, because why are you putting your legs, why are you
Around
jumping
this
on that
dude,
person
my
like
dude,
you're,
and you his friend.
yeah, it's like if it's a real brother and sister relationship, but some brothers and sisters do.
Some of them are
do
close
stuff
like that, but
yeah,
my
yeah,
sister
but
ain't never wrapped her legs around me when she saw me. Okay.
Yep,
So
so-
last question. What's the one boundary you'd never budge on with an opposite sex friend, and why?
I think the one thing that I would never budge on is getting rid of that person completely because you're uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't say that I can't be friends with that person anymore, because especially if that person was a childhood friend and that person is like a brother to me, I would just try to talk through with you and see what kind of parameters we could put around the friendship and see what it is that would make you comfortable. We can always talk about it.
Right.
So I wouldn't budge on that, because that means like I'm getting rid of a brother.
Right.
So
There has to be a solution that can be
I think there has to be a solution that makes everybody comfortable. Of course, I would want to do everything I could to make you comfortable with it, but you're asking me to get rid of somebody who has been a part of my life since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot for somebody to ask, you know, especially if I haven't done anything to make you feel insecure, that person hasn't done anything to disrespect you or make you feel insecure.
Like insecure or
I would like to
violated.
try and work around it. Now, that might mean that person may still be my best friend, but maybe that means I wouldn't talk to them that often because of how you felt about it. But that doesn't mean I'm kicking them out of my life. So, no, I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, I get that.
Yep.
Let's
Yep.
talk about the takeaways from this episode moving forward.
Okay.
You can go first.
All right. Well, friendships with the opposite sex can be healthy if all the boundaries are respected and both partners have an understanding of what it looks like with those friendships.
Respect boundaries set by your spouse, as long as they're reasonable boundaries.
Yep.
And
Yep,
whatever those
yep.
reasonable boundaries you guys agree upon, you can't break them, right? You
Right.
have to stick to those boundaries.
Correct.
And again, if there's a question about it, if anything is in question, I think you have to bring it to your spouse.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. Talk about it. Always having good communication when it comes to that. Always keeping, being very transparent, because it's going to keep your relationship strong. Again, talking about everything. And at the end of the day, we both need to feel safe and respected.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And if you're hiding your friend, they're not really your friend. They're a risk, right? So you definitely need to be able to bring your friends to the barbecue. If you can't bring your friend to the barbecue, that's a red flag.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all, drop in the comments. Should your spouse have friends of the opposite sex?
And tell us your wildest story. We might read it on the next episode. We want to hear all the things. And if you enjoyed this episode and you plan on riding with us, please like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us for upcoming episodes every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Peace, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye.
We out.